All right, guys, welcome back. So let's have a look at SoundHound. So this is going to be pretty short one again. Yesterday we talked about this one, and thumbnail was 13 bucks. Well, today I'm gonna talk a little bit different. I'm gonna show you a little bit different things. But first of all, before we get started, I'll just quickly go through the levels I was watching. Okay, the all-time highs we know 24. Today almost tested it, pretty impressive. But anytime you see a stock after selling off gaps up, I mean, those sellers are going to show up again. So that's exactly what happened. 20% decline in a day from top to bottom, but intraday 9%. I mean, are you surprised? I mean, this stock has been volatile, but again, I was watching this name maybe for some sort of a 20%, 30% pullback. Maybe after running up, maybe cracking the 24 and go to 27 and then slam back down to 22 or something like that. That's something I was watching for, but looks like to me right here, right now, ultra short term, top could be in ultra short term again, but I'm comparing it to Marathon Digital from 2023. Okay, stock market is about to close in about 10 minutes. Okay, so far stock is sitting at around $18.80. So 20 bucks is your another level I was watching. So if it stays above 20, builds above 20, it's still looking good, even 18 bucks. But if it cracks 18, well, this is something I'm watching for. I'm looking at Marathon Digital from 2023. Similar action, similar market capitalization, similar the financial situation. Probably Marathon makes a lot more money, but the point is they both dilute, okay? This is dilution of SoundHound. You can take a look at it on this website as well, dilutiontracker.com. And last year they have pretty much diluted by 100 million or so, and they will continue to do so because that's the only way to borrow money. Nobody's going to lend them money or they don't make any money. So that's the only cheap way of basically funding the business, and may not be necessarily cheap, but that's the way of running the business so far for SoundHound, and keep expanding unless they start making money, right? But I'm looking at this Mara from last year, where stock ran up all the way to 30 bucks from $10. Similar market capitalization, and it did produce 20% or so, 20 plus percent decline in like last day of the market, where it pretty much dropped on 29th of December, pretty big. And we had, I believe that was Friday. I'm not sure, but I was looking for something like this option expiration. But this is something I'm going to be looking as a guide. So basically, the line in the sand for the SoundHound, probably $18. So stock can spend quite some time between 18 and 22. And then I'm going to be looking for SoundHound eventually test that 50-day moving average, where it's basically it can do something like this, where I'll go back to SoundHound, where the 50-day, it's very low right now, but it's going to catch up. So in a week or so, it will catch up to maybe around 12 bucks or so, and 13 bucks. That's where my $13 thumbnail that I put up yesterday came from. And yeah, 18 bucks, 15 bucks, 13 bucks. That's your support so far. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to make it easy for a lot of people, because it's very options driven. A lot of option premiums are being sold, and implied volatility staying very high still. So even if you are somebody who's trying to be clever and think that, okay, it's going to drop to 10 bucks in the next month or so, option market is already implying that it can move $8.60. So you're not going to make money most likely, because for you to be able to make money, it has to drop fast, or you have to buy in the money puts and just expensive puts and just sit and try to make maybe 100% or something like that. But my goal is never to make 100% when I trade options. So I like to go shoot for at least 3-4 times of my capital. And I'm not trading this name at these levels. Even today, when it dropped pretty big, I was following $18 put, and it didn't appreciate as much as even though it did drop pretty big. I mean, the option contracts, I mean, yeah, it did go, what, 3-4 times, but again, I was expecting a little bit different of a move, where actually it moved 500%. But I didn't see many much of a flow come into this. 20, pretty popular so far for the puts. I was watching it throughout the day. Probably I was watching 20. That's why it wasn't too attractive for me, because it was too expensive, 1-day expiration. But the goal is right here, right now. I mean, since IV is pretty high, I mean, not the goal, what I'm watching for the stock, if I don't talk about this one for the next, I don't know, couple weeks, then this is going to be the Marathon Digital will be my template to watch the stock as basically as a price action, mirroring price action. So 18 to all the way to 21, maybe even 20, 22, and hover around these ranges until it kills a lot of premium and then eventually declines to its 50-day moving average. If it cracks these levels and if it starts going lower sooner, maybe on some sort of a dilution headline, you can keep an eye on basically the SEC filings. So far, insiders only have been selling, but I was expecting maybe after they dump themselves, they can do an offering, and I'm still waiting for an offering. So that's the update for SoundHound. That's the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.